So, let's talk about luck. Well, this is a bit of an interesting animated film, isn't it? I said that like on last with you. But I actually do see some promise in luck since this is made by Skydance's first animated film. Even though they're also known for making a short film called Blush, even if I haven't seen the short yet, I can see that there was some promise in that short and I can see people liking it, so there could be some luck in luck, no pun intended. But what keeps us away from being an interesting concept is that this is made by John Lasseter himself. Look, he was fine back then since he was the creator that knows what he was doing. But ever since he became a toxic behavior and ever since he got kicked out of Disney, he really is quite of an unlucky guy. Why do I keep on making all these luck jokes? But anywho, back onto luck itself. Would this film be lucky to being a good film, or will it be unlucky for being a bad movie? Let's let's see for ourselves. Well, after watching this movie, I didn't have much thoughts on it, but here are my thoughts anyways. I will give the film that it did have some pretty decent chuckles for me when they have some decent jokes that actually does calm me down when I'm trying to focus on the movie and all that. And I will give that the animation is pretty neat. With the character animation being quite smooth and quite talented, and the visuals that do stand out is in the world building of Luck, showing how everything is meant to be in order, and same with the world building on the bad luck where it's upside down, and how people just have bad luck in that world, but still love having bad luck nonetheless, even if they're used for like most jokes and all that. And I will give the film that conceptually, the colors do feel a bit minimal at times since they do consist of green, white, and purple. But I don't mind that since they're actually trying to be used to expand on the world building, so it doesn't really tick me off all of a sudden. Yes, and it does have some good mention on how the look is for each character and how their movement, like with Bob's luck and Sam's bad luck. And I will give that there were some actors that did actually do a good job, and my personal favorites on the acting was Jane Fonda and Simon Pegg. And even though that Bob's role is a bit generic since he's trying to like keep Sam not making people recognize that she's not a leprechaun and is a human, with his voice acting by Simon Pegg makes him my favorite character of the movie. Okay, I'm not saying that this would be entirely great because there are some issues that did make this movie feel like it's not going the right direction ever since John Lasseter came into the project. In the main story, it is so generic and is so overused nowadays. You know the ones people trying to disguise as the lucky people, as some non-human people in order to fit in, so that way no one will know that they're human. But then in middle of like in the middle second half or the third half, they recognize as human. Yeah, we already get that story so many damn times. And it does try work in the world building, but the execution makes a complete waste. And while I did say there were some moments that did give me a chuckle, there are some jokes that do kind of fall flat at times. Not, no offense, movie, but you really need to work on your jokes now. It's because it feels like it's trying to copy an anime film, and I find this movie way too similar to Monsters Inc. How that where the humans trying to disguise the monster, then gets revealed, and that's basically about it. And yes, I know this has some Pixar veteran actors, but that's my point. The story feels like it was copied from Monsters Inc. And yes, I know this is made by John Lasseter, so of course they make that similarity. But this is a big issue here. But it makes because it makes me feel bad for the studio when you working with John Lasseter to not make an actual original story. And and the big even though I would say that the animation is nice, is that it does look a bit too similar to Disney. Like how some of the character designs look like they came from that, and some of them look like they came out of a commercial or an ad. You know the ones. but I wouldn't say the same for the non-human character designs. I guess maybe, but I will say that even if the actors did it good, some the characters that they play as are not so great. Except for Bob, I like him. Even Sam is quite a generic character. She's your typical girl who finds a lucky penny, tries to give it to the younger friend in order to find an adopted family, and that's it. Nothing else to say. And she does have a weak performance by Eva Noble Seda as Sam, which does kind of make it a bit generic. But the one thing I'll give Sam is that, to be honest with you people, she got a little something. Even other characters that feel generic, like Jerry and other types of characters out there, don't feel like they have much of a purpose throughout this movie. And even if I'll say that, even though Babe, the dragon character, does have some interesting concepts, when she has her twist at the third act, which I won't spoil, felt a bit pointless, because she stops being having a twist, acting like she has one, and that's it. Just felt pointless. While I do admire the actors, the characters they play as are not very great. Look is just a generic animated film where it did have an interesting concept, some decent chuckles for me, nice animation, and some good actors. The writing is quite shite, where it has a terrible and cliched story, an interesting concept that went far away because of the execution, and some characters that are quite forgettable. But I wouldn't exactly recommend this to everyone, as long if you're interested in this film, or either you like the short anime film, which is Blush, by the way. I'm not too sure if this would be the right film to pay on Apple TV in order to watch this. I mean, there are other better films out there, and this would have been better if John Lasseter was never part of the project, because he's only there just to waste people's time and use as a marketing tool. Even though if he didn't actually do much to make this movie suck, it doesn't help, because John Lasseter just did nothing to do anything wrong here. He just pressed the reset button and when he actually does something to do the story, he makes it even worse than I ever could have imagined. I mean, the only thing I can give this movie is it gets the seal of average. Well, I'm not too sure if this movie would be called Luck, since this movie would have been better called Bad Luck, because this would have been bad luck if it had been meant as a bad movie.